Can you feel it? Something revolutionary is happening. Women are waking up all over the entire globe. There's an energy and a momentum that's building and driving us to step forward onto new pathways, to embrace new roles, and to play a bigger part, to influence the future of the world. Women are actualizing all the possibilities that we can sense and feel inside ourselves. And as the traditional roles of women have changed, we are now freed up for the first time in history to care about our own self-awakening and to care about the dormant energy that's been collectively ignited, and to recognize and be aware of all these new pathways that are opening up for us to explore. Can you hear and sense and feel the whispers from your soul? What is calling you right now in your clearest moments, when you listen and receive the whispers from your soul? What is calling you? I can sense and feel a call for sacredness, creativity, expression, for connection, expansion, radiance, alignment, and love. And I know most of us can hear the whispers, but we don't always know what to do with them. We might ask ourselves, how? And what does this mean for me on my path? What are the next steps? And if I were to live this life that I can sense and feel, what would it look like? And how can I sustain myself and make a living and continue to provide for myself and for my family? Because in this new world that's awakening right now, we don't have a map. There are role models, but not quite. They're not so clear. We're on the precipice. We're on the frontier. We're on the edge of a human evolution. We're on the edge of a stage of awakening that we don't necessarily have the models, because we're the ones we've been waiting for. And so we might be trying to find our way in this new landscape using a navigational system that's from the past. And so this navigational system that we used before, it doesn't recognize, it's not calibrated into this new landscape that we're traversing. And this is what I see happening for women all over the globe. We're finding ourselves in this situation where we have more options and we have abilities like never before to be whoever we want to be, but we lack the tools to navigate our way there. And I know this because this is my story. And this is the story of women that I talk to, and the women that I've met, and the women that I share space with. And for those of you that are meeting me for the very first time, my name is Maria Chaudhry. And over the past 20 years, I've worked and lived as a midwife, as a Qigong practitioner, as an herbalist, and a temple guide. And I have dedicated my life to holding sacred and transformational spaces for women to discover themselves and to safely birth what is inside them. I support women as they bring their inner desires out into the world as manifest form. So in the past, I practiced midwifery, and that looked like birthing babies. And now it's midwifery and another expression, and it looks like birthing potentialities, birthing skills, birthing self-awareness, birthing the process of awakening. And so before, when I practiced Qigong, I practiced it for energy to help support my work as a midwife that was really required a lot of endurance, and my being a mother. And so I needed the energy just to maintain my life. But now I see Qigong, my practice has become, the practice itself has become an energy vehicle, like that I'm wrapped up in this energy that I can now connect to the invisible realm. And this energy becomes my vehicle in which I now navigate this new realm that we're entering into this new collective, this new awakening. And I know that women are experiencing the same sort of desire to outwardly manifest their desires. And as women, we feel, I just know this, as a woman, you're feeling inside you, something is significant and it's waking up, it's stirring, but you don't always know what it is or what to do with it or where to go or how to get there. And that's where and how Path with Harmony, Qigong for the Awakening Woman, that's how it even got started. It was formed out of necessity for women, just like you and me, who long to have grounded and embody energy work practices and to have an alchemical container, because Qigong is an alchemical practice. And we need to have that transformational space that honors the yearning and the whispers of our soul, and to be able to support us to energetically and confidently leap into our destiny, even when we don't know how. So, along the way of me creating and having Path with Harmony emerge from me, that was Path with Harmony is what I have birthed. Along the way, I've had the honor and the privilege of studying with many beautiful mentors and teachers that I'd like to presence here, because I'm calling in their lineage into these practices. And so the first one I'd like to honor is Theresa Elder. She was my mentor midwife. She was the one that saw potential in me and took me under her wing, that taught me how to be a midwife, how to be with women, how to find the good, how to be jolly and joyful and laugh. Theresa Elder is a very simple, wise woman. She walks the wise woman path. And so thank you, Theresa. And then I'd also like to honor Aviva Romm, Dr. Aviva Romm. She's an herbalist. She started off as a midwife, and now she's a medical practitioner, a doctor. And she has taught me a lot of the skills to eloquently and effectively blend herbal remedies for women. And I would like to honor Dr. Young, Wing-Ming, and all the students and disciples from YMAA, because they are the ones that taught me Qigong and taught me the art of not just movement, physical body, but how to look within. And it's the internal practice that's the medicine. It's the internal pause that is the alchemical practice. It's the part that changes us. So the type of Qigong that we practice is called medical Qigong. I'd also like to bow to Elyane Kalila of the Priestess Presence Temple, because she's the one that really opened me up with a new way and a new confidence to express myself as a priestess and as a woman connected to the goddess and connected to walking the path of love and to model that. And finally, Dr. Clair Zammit, because she's the creator of Feminine Power. And throughout these videos and through those that join me through the practice that we're going to enter into, I'm going to draw from the teachings of Dr. Clair Zammit and draw from the teachings of Feminine Power, primarily from the Feminine Power practice. So you're going to really get to be familiar with her teachings and how I have brought them in. They're like a weaver, and I bring in all these golden strings of wisdom and then recreated them and re-alchemicalized them into this new practice. And so it's through their teachings that I can bring you the guidance and the ability to hold space with skill and integrity and wholeness. So, yes, my mentors have guided me. And also, it's through my own journey that I want to share this with you. That there are many ways to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it as there are 3 power sources or 3 channels, 3 places, centers that provide what we need to know, not only to navigate our path through this life, but to navigate the path into the unknown and to navigate and activate and open our highest potentials and to open and cultivate the conditions for self-actualization. So imagine yourself right now. You're standing on a pathway and you're looking toward the future. Right? And so as you're looking toward the future and you see these pathways, notice if any of these apply to you. That you long to make life choices that not only matter to you, but to those in your life, and to make the world a better place. And that you long to have a daily practice that supports your health on every level, that supports you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That you long to create a career that honors your calling to make a difference in the world. That you long to attract intimate relationships where you can be yourself fully, where you can express yourself fully, and where you're met on every level. That you long to build on the success that you've already achieved, right? You've already come so far, and you want to build on that success and have that support you to improve and enhance your impact and to grow and to on a larger scale. And you might be tired of doing all of it alone, yet find it really hard to receive the support that you need. And you feel a strong desire to express yourself, your gifts, your talents in the ways that make a difference, but you don't really know what that looks like. And you might be unsure of where to start because you might have so many ideas that you're not quite sure where to start. Or you might have a sense that you are here to do something but you just don't know how to transition yourself. Like you're here in one situation and now you sense and feel you know what you want to do, but you're not quite sure how to transition yourself so that you can support yourself financially. You might have really good friends and you might belong to a community, and yet you still have this inner experience of feeling alone when it comes to your calling, as if your calling and your gifts and talents and your awakening is your own problem to figure out by yourself. Oh, you can also be finding yourself in this overgiving, overdoing, constantly kind of running at a deficit because you're wanting to support all these people because you can see so much potential in them and you want to support them so that they become who they are, but you're like in this overdoing stage. Or that you yearn for that romantic relationship that I mentioned before, someone that matches your values, someone that matches your vision, someone that you want to go deeper with, and that they are in return reciprocating that relationship with you. And or that might be a new relationship, or that might be coming up with ways to deepen into the intimacy with the current relationship that you're in. Or perhaps, despite all the personal growth that you've done, because you have done a lot of growth, you still sense and feel that there is a barrier in your life that you just can't seem to break through. You're not quite sure what it is. You can sense and feel that there's something there that's holding you back. Or perhaps you're concerned about the state of the world. I know I am. And you want to help make the world a better place, but feel totally overwhelmed about how to get started. So, if you can identify with any of the above things that I talked about, then you're at the right place at the right time. And I'm here to just amplify you and love you and lift you up and remind you there is nothing wrong with you. And you are not alone because we're all feeling this. I can assure you that women are feeling the exact same way. And it's not just like women of your peers. Like these are women of all walks of life. And they've had all these different experiences, from teens to elders to healers to mystics to coaches to mothers and artists and executives, entrepreneurs, teachers, authors, performers, all feeling that something is so big is happening across this broad spectrum and that we can't ignore it. And so these emotions, these feelings of restlessness and dissatisfaction are all signs and symptoms of awakening to a new stage in our evolution. There's an American psychologist, his name is Abraham Maslow, and he calls this sense of awakening to a new stage, this evolution, he calls this self-actualization. And then it also can become this self-transcendence, right? And it makes sense because we are among the first, maybe the second generation of women to be freed up from the task of having to survive to just put food on the table, right? So for the first time in history, as women, we can actively pursue our own self-actualization, our own destiny, our own desire. It's totally acceptable for us to follow our hearts, right? because the limitations that held the women back in the past, they're removed. And so now we can like step into this rapidly ascending, accelerating into this new stage, right? And so there's this critical mass of women from all over the globe are in this altered landscape. And then when we're in this landscape and we have like ascended to a new stage of development on a massive level and a critical mass of people, we are now at this summit and we can look, right, and see. And when you're looking and seeing from the summit, there's this profound impulse to express yourself and to be creative and to see and experience and live your vision and to find your voice and to stand in your power, right? We don't just want a nice house and a nice car. I mean, those things are necessary and wonderful, and we do want a nice house and car, but we want more than that. We're yearning for something that can't be acquired through achievement. We don't want to just simply succeed where men have succeeded in the past in that traditional way that's been previously defined in our world. We're yearning for something that can only be created through us. We are yearning to birth our true selves. We're yearning to birth the higher possibilities of who we are. So we yearn for an experience of intimacy that is deeper and more real than our parents had. We long to have our creative gifts to impact others, and we want to belong because we do belong, even though we don't feel like we belong. But we have this need to belong and to express ourselves and to be alive and to be magical and to be sensual and meaningful and potent and to contribute. And none of these are created within a masculine power system. So a masculine power system is perfect when you're wanting to achieve something, when you're wanting to accomplish something, when you're wanting to acquire. So when you're wanting to have that nice house and that nice car, perfect. That's the masculine power system. You know, it's also built civilizations and made advances in technology and in this computer that we're working on and in science, and it's taken us to the moon and to Mars, and it is so powerful in developing a structure. And for many women like us who are awakening to our feminine nature, our destination has changed a little bit. Many of us have already been there, has already done that. We already have the nice house and the nice car, right? The nature and our aspirations that we're navigating toward have changed, right? So this is why we keep hearing about the need to restructure the systems of power in our society today. It's because what we're navigating toward isn't only achievement, right? Because women, we have made incredible leaps in this modern world, right? Yet, many of us are still struggling for equality in important ways. And many of us still make less money. While it's up to us to figure out how to balance our career and balance our family. And in many ways, women still fear their safety. All over the world, women fear their safety, and especially how they express their sexuality, how they express their spirituality, and when they're speaking their truth, they don't always feel safe to speak their truth. While this is happening, we're still leading the way for a new humanity. Because women are creating the majority of these self-help, self-empowerment programs. We're creating more businesses than men, and we are actualizing and catalyzing and creating organizations that are supporting women and children and the healthy planet and creating networks all over the world. So even though we don't feel totally, fully capable of expressing our power and our sexuality and our magic, we're still leading the way. And I firmly believe that this awakening not only holds the keys of our own personal fulfillment as women, but holds the keys to our planetary potential. We have the power to birth a new world. Because something, powerful is waking up inside you, inside each of us. And it is a clear signal that you, that me, that we are being called. So, what's possible in this new stage of awakening? What's happening for women is a wholesome, life positive challenge and struggle. This challenge that we're facing is that we can't yet unlock the potentials that we're sensing and feeling within the same power system that we've been using to get here. That's why we feel so frustrated and under-realized. We don't have the clarity and the tools or the power to step into the opportunities that are right in front of us. But there's good news. When we consistently work on practicing those 3 power centers and cultivating the conditions that we're going to go through in this series of videos, then the gap between that possibility that you're sensing and feeling for yourself and how to actually get there, that gap starts to disappear, right? You can begin to feel spiritually connected and attuned to your own inner alignment. And it's just like your compass. You become organically connected to the deeper truth of who you are. You start living into and rediscovering your higher purpose. You start to remember your essence. You feel and sense that authentic confidence in your ability to attract and to generate resources that you need to thrive. Your relationships begin to mirror and match your values. And you express your gifts, not only just to express yourself, but you express your gifts in ways that are received and that are valued and that go on to impact and influence others. You start to empower your family, your partner, your children, your community, and you start to show up and they start to show up in ways that flourish and thrive. The one thing that I know for sure is that the possibilities that you sense and feel in your clearest moments for you, for who you are, and what your life could be, those are real. In fact, I feel I can say with certainty the destiny is bigger than you can even imagine. And you have an opportunity for success and for vitality, for connection and for intimacy and for legacy that has never been greater. And so, my loves, over the next 4 videos, each video is going to build on the previous one. And over the next 4 videos, I'm going to share stories and exercises that you can start to experience. And those experiences will expand into these 3 power centers. And then you can start living more and more connected to your body, to your power, into your deeper intuitive wisdom. Mm. So watch the next video.